Hey everyone, Arcade here, and today in this video I'm doing sort of a follow-up to my Retro Fighters Defender video where I'll be showing you what I think is actually the best wireless controller you can use on the PS2, and that is PS4 controllers and also PS3 controllers, and how easy it is to do this if you have a modded PS2 with the ability to run Open PS2 Loader / OPL. The most common way to run OPL is if you have free MC boot. You can buy free MC boot memory cards off Amazon, I'm pretty sure. And there are a few PS2s that aren't compatible with it, but I'm pretty sure for the most part, it's the PS2 Slims that have the glossy half. I'm pretty sure they might be the only ones, maybe some later matte PS2 Slims. But yeah, the compatibility is pretty good. It works on all PS2 FATs. And basically, once you have OPL installed, this is how you do it. You will need a USB Bluetooth adapter, and this plugs just straight into your PS2. They should basically be less than $15. I've got a link down below from a thread where people have posted compatible USB Bluetooth devices. The one I got cost like $8, and that's in Australia. A lot of like the small form factor ones work, but just check that thread. You can probably find one really cheap on Amazon that is compatible. All right, so once you're in OPL settings, you want to go to controller settings, and then you want to configure Pademu. And this is probably what it looks like if you haven't messed with it before. Just turn Pad Emulator on, select the mode. If you just want to use it through USB because you don't have a Bluetooth adapter, you can select DualShock 3/4 USB. And there are some other settings you can play with that, in my opinion, make this sort of the best option, because if you can install OPL, the benefit of Pademu is one USB adapter can connect multiple controllers. Now, when compared to something like a Retro Defender controller or the Brook Super Converter, you need obviously multiple Defender controllers, or you need multiple Super Converters for more than one controller. But you can actually set it up, as you can see here, for a multi-tap, so you can connect 4 controllers to the USB device, or even just 2 controllers, which gives you a lot of flexibility. If you already have PS3 controllers, if you already have PS4 controllers, you can connect multiple controllers to the one Bluetooth USB adapter, which is super handy. But the actual pairing process is really simple. You just want to connect your controller, PS3 or PS4, to a USB slot on your PS2. And while it's connected physically through the USB, you just hit X on the controller on the pair DS controller option, and it will populate the DS controller ported to MAC address, as you can see there. Now, this is me now using the PS4 controller. You do need a PS2 controller, obviously, to get to this part. But now I've unplugged my PS4 controller, I've pressed the PlayStation button on my PS4 controller, and it will pair to the Bluetooth adapter. And now I'm using the controller wirelessly. And now make sure you do this. When you hit OK, go down to Save Changes. This way your configuration for Pad Emulator will apply to your games. So now if you go to a game and you press Options on it, and you go to Configure Pademu, if your setting is set to global, it should automatically be connected. You can now check a game that I haven't played before, just so I can confirm. You can see now it's all connected, it's all good. You can start the game. Your PS4 or PS3 controller will turn off when your console goes to start and boot a new game. But once the game starts to load, just hit the PlayStation button on your controller and it will pair, because you've already set this up, and you're good to go. Now, one thing that I've done, and you can find tutorials this for online, is I've got my PS2 through free MC boot to boot directly to OPL. That way, as soon as my PS2 starts, I can turn on my PS4 controller and I'm good to go. I don't need to use my PS2 controller at all from this point forward. So overall, I'd say this is a really, really good option for a wireless controller to use with the PS2. And one thing to keep in mind, that any of the PS2 games that require like pressure sensitive buttons, the PS3 controller will work for that purpose. So yeah, really, there's no downsides to this besides needing a modded PS2. But in 2023, it's pretty easy to have your PS2 be modded. Whether you have to buy a new one or not really depends on the model of your PlayStation. If you have a fat PS2, you're basically good to go. The memory cards aren't very expensive to install free MC boot on. There are even services I'm pretty sure you can get for people that will install it to your memory card if you want to send it in. But like I said, I'm pretty sure you can even buy them on Amazon now, and most PS2 Slims work. Most of the memory cards will come with OPL pre-installed. The setup's really simple. The USB that's compatible with it shouldn't be any more than $15. And yeah, like I said, look in the description below. I will have a link to those to that thread where people were posting their compatible USB dongles. And in terms of how the controller works, like really there might be a slight delay, but I don't know about you guys, I'm not playing any super competitive games on the PS2, so for my purposes, and I'm sure most of you guys, the delay with whatever is there in terms of delay is not going to make or break the controller. I definitely recommend trying this out, especially because there's no risk other than needing to maybe buy the USB dongle. There's no risk in trying it if you already have a PS3 or PS4 controller. So yeah, if you guys like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you all in the next one.